it's me, Miss Laura, and we are going to be doing our craft of the week with our story time. And this week we're making little pirate ships. And I haven't tested it out, but I feel pretty confident that these might even actually float. So let me show you what all we have in our pack. So if you pick up your packs from here at the library, you're going to have in it a few things. Okay. Half of an egg crate. Now, if you don't come by the library, these are materials that you could probably find at your house. This is part of the egg crate that I'm repurposing. That's going to be our little plank. You will have 2 squares of paper for our sails. There is a little tiny piece of square paper that was the flag on the ship, and there should be 2 straws in there. Some other things that you'll need for this craft are some scissors, glue or tape or glue dots, whatever you want to make to make sure your little plank and all sticks on there. I am going to be using a, I want to call it a box cutter, but it's not an X-Acto knife. There we go. So, to make my holes in this, but you can use scissors. Definitely get your mommy or daddy or grandparents, whoever, to help you make those holes. That's probably the trickiest part in this whole thing. I have a spare piece of paper for the front of my ships. You can use markers or crayons or glitter or whatever you want to help decorate your ship and make it pretty if you want to. So let's get started. So the first thing and the hardest thing I'm probably going to do is I'm going to start making the holes, and those are going to go right at the 2 little nubs there. And I just kind of made a little X on it. And this cardboard is pretty hard. So I just kind of made an X so I can kind of mush it around as needed. There we go. This time it cut a lot smoother than the last time. Alrighty. And then I'm going to take my straw and I'm going to kind of work it in those holes. I'm kind of using my finger to make that hole a little bit bigger. And you put in a straw. Now this straw, and some of your all straws in the pack might have like a little bendy portion. I'm going to cut that section off, but don't get rid of that straw because we can use it later on. I forgot to poke my finger in there. There we go. I'm going to put my shorter one up at the front, the taller one at the back. So those are, your straws are what's called the mast of the ship. Those are what supports the sails. Alrighty. So, like I said, don't throw away the back portion of your little straw because it can also support some of your ship. Here, let me move that over here so you can maybe see what we're working with. This is the portion that I'm going to be making. So I'm just slicing another little hole in this back portion, just like I did before. And kind of use my finger in there. And like I said, this is probably the hardest part that we do right here. And if you want to secure these in there, if your hole's a little bit bigger, you could probably pack tape around there or put some more paper around it, just whatever you want to do. Now for the sails, it doesn't matter whether you go this way or this way, either which way. I'm going to fold a portion of it in half, and then I'm going to cut like a little U shape in there. I don't know if you can see. I'll show you. It's easier to see once I'm done. See, when I do that, it makes like a little slit there. And I'm going to repeat that on the other side. There we go. And then we're just going to slip this right over our straw. It just slides right on there. Easy peasy. And then I just kind of bend it a little bit with my fingers. It doesn't have to be real solid, but you kind of get, and it will slide up and down. If you want, you can always put a piece of tape going across that back side so that it's not sliding up and down on the mast. All right. So now we're going to make another sail, and I'm just going to repeat the process that we just now did. So I'm going to fold it. And I've really enjoyed this craft. I was really excited when I found it because I absolutely love nautical things, which means like watery ships, ocean type stuff. So I had a lot of fun with this. There we go. So there's your little slits again, and we're just repeating it. So we're sliding it down the straw. And there we go. So now we have our two little masks. Now, for the next part, I'm going to take my little spare part of egg crate, and we're going to make it as the little plank way, like what we see right here. This is what the pirates will tell them to do. You know, that they got to walk the plank. So my little Lego guy can walk out here and be fed to the sharks, or he can use it like a diving board if he wants to. So what I do with my spare part, because it's a little long, so I decided to bend it a little bit. I'm just bending a section of it. And it doesn't really matter which side you put it on. There's no rhyme or reason. And I just glopped on the glue. And just remember, Elmer's glue does take a little bit to dry, so practice patience with this. And if you're using a styrofoam egg container, it might take even longer to dry. So just be really, really patient. So if you're using the styrofoam container, you might not be able to play with it until tomorrow. Let it dry real good. All right, so I just put some glue up on the lip. And then I'm just pressing that down so it'll stay. And I don't know if you can see it. Let me take off those cells so you can see it real quick. That portion that I folded down is just mushed inside there. That's all. The more I did it, kind of makes it a little bit more stable. All right, so that's the cool thing about putting the cells on and off. In bad weather, you can't sail in bad weather with full cells. The wind would rip them right off. The mast would break. It's really bad. So you lower your sails so you could take them down. So on this back piece here, I'm just going to take a little leftover paper. You can, I think when I was making this, I actually cut a strip off to give it more of a square look. I'm just going to use some scrap paper that I have. So I made it into a square, and now I'm just going to kind of fold it into a triangle shape. If I can remember how to fold a square into a triangle shape, this would go a lot smoother. Okay, I'm making a triangle shape. Just kind of cutting off my excess paper there. There we go. Now I got a triangle. Oh no, I forgot my tape. So, tape would be useful during this project too. And you can just tape that right on there, okay? So, we're going to pretend like I taped that on there. And then, let me fix my cells because they're all going catterwampus here. And yes, that's a real word, catterwampus. It's a good word to have. And then, with the little brown piece of paper that I gave you, I'm going to make this little flake portion right here. Now, because I forgot my tape, I'm not going to be able to affix it to my mast. But what I did is I cut the square, and I cut out a little portion, or you can leave it straight. I just decided to cut out a little triangle, but if you want to leave it straight, you can leave it straight. And then what you're going to do is you're going to, usually it goes on the taller mast, but it's up to you. It's your pirate ship or your boat. You can put on whichever one, but you're going to put it right up on there, and it will tape right on there. I just kind of put a piece of tape. I can show you with this one. I just kind of put a piece of tape on there and looped it around on the straw and pressed it on, okay? And that's how I did the triangle too. I just taped it right around that little piece of straw, so it stayed up really good. Okay, so that's another piece of material that you need is the tape. Otherwise it gets interesting. So for the front part of my ship, right here, I used a piece of scrap cardboard, but if you want to, you can use a piece of paper. If you don't want anything on the front of your boat, you don't have to put anything there. It's your boat. But I just fold it in half so it's even. And then I kind of measure it out to see where it's going to hit. And I'm going to put a little bit of glue right along these edges here. I'm very messy with glue. And then I'm going to repeat it on the other little hole here. Alright, and then I'm just going to put this in here, and it just kind of nestles right up against the sides. And again, it takes a little bit, or you can use tape. I'm going to scoot it back in here. And it probably won't be dry by the time I finish my little video. There we go. But there you go. Now you have a little boat. And so send me your pictures of your boats. And definitely let me know if you actually put it in some water, okay? Because I want to know if it floats. And then you can put your little Lego guys or dinosaurs or whatever you want on the ship. Alrighty, bye-bye.